comfortable.
Woo!
It's an 8-pager. But like I said, I'm truly honored to give the toast for Brian and Tara. Where to start? Basically, obviously as the best man, everybody knows that Brian and I have been pretty much inseparable since we were born.
Woo!
Ever
Yay!
since, if I'm ever by myself, people are always like, "Oh, where's Brian?" If Brian's ever by himself, people are like, "Where's Kevin?" I think I'm pretty qualified to do I guess the best man speech, obviously, the toast, because Brian and Tara have been pretty much at my house every weekend this summer.
Woo! All right!
I don't know, ever since I moved from downtown Baltimore, it became very popular. But first, a bit of history of the relationship. As far as I know, Brian and Tara met about 10 years ago in Frederick, Maryland. Both Brian and Tara had just started out in their careers. Tara was working as a journalist for the Frederick News Post, and honestly, I have no idea what Brian was doing that day.
And who cares?
This was back when I was in Ukraine. I was working for the CIA, the Peace Corps. Let that slip, sorry. I remember he was living in the basement of my Aunt Jane and Uncle Paul's basement.
Yes!
Until he could find his own place. He was living on a couch.
Right!
Sleeping on a couch.
It was a nice basement.
Yeah, it was a nice basement.
It was, I saw it.
Very soon after that, Brian and Tara, they met at a bar. Huge surprise.
Woo!
The bar was called Firestones. And they later hung out at a pub called Bushwallers. And as an aside, on their way up to the wedding, they went back to Firestones.
All right!
Just like, 2 days ago. At the time, they didn't date, but they often saw each other out in Frederick. They had a lot of common interests in, next slide, mutual friends. Of course, soon both of them moved on in their careers and they left Frederick. Brian moved to Arlington and Tara moved to Rochester, New York. But even though they lived far apart, America.
Wow!
Alright, but even though they lived far apart, they still kept in touch through email or phone calls because Brian is really way too cool to use Facebook. And he still is, so if anyone's ever wondered why no friend requests or acceptance, it's because he doesn't use Facebook. But he's on Twitter, you can find him.
All right.
At Spence 11.
Okay.
Alright, fast forward 10 years. Tara moved from Rochester, New York to Baltimore, Maryland.
Yay!
Continuing her career as a journalist while Brian was working for BAE Systems BAE Systems working with NATO near the Pentagon. He's still in Arlington, Virginia. Arlington in the house. Tara called Brian out of the blue. At least, this might not be 100% accurate.
All right.
I'll take the liberties. I'm making my own little love story here. Tara called Brian out of the blue and the rest is history. They quickly fell in love and started spending a lot of time together. Soon Brian knew Tara was the one. He asked Tara to marry him on top of a glacier in Norway. I didn't know there were so many Norwegians in the house. Alright, thanks a lot, Brian. I don't know how any of us leftover bachelors are going to be able to top that. That's not nice. But knowing Brian like the back of my hand, I knew early on that Tara was the one for him.
Aww.
Brian wears his emotions on his sleeve, very much unlike me. But Tara seemed to calm him, to tame him. Since they've been together, every time I see Brian, he is in a great mood. In fact, I would always tell my brothers and parents this. I knew very early on that Tara was with him. It was just the way he would speak about her, the tone in his voice. A couple of weeks ago, I was walking down the hallway towards their apartment. I could hear Brian and Tara laughing, even though their doors were closed, and I was on the other end of the hallway, near the elevator. They really make each other happy. Tara has been perfect for Brian.
Yee-hoo!
Tara, thank you for calming Brian down. I feel so much safer around him. Just kidding. Now a bit about Tara. As most of you know, Brian and I are both die-hard soccer fans.
Yay!
Brian and Tara have traveled the country around the world just to watch soccer games. We put ourselves in danger in Mexico City with police escorts, riot police. We've led soccer chants in front of thousands of people. We've created giant flags, what we call TIFO, and banners for our favorite team, DC United. Tara, I'm not even sure she likes soccer. But I think she's starting to like it. For example, it says a lot about Tara that she's willing to buy season tickets to currently the worst team in the world, in the United States, just to make Brian happy.
Woo! That's friendship.
She spends every Saturday with him at the tailgates and in the stands with crazy soccer hooligans. Some of them are here today. Tara's made great efforts to integrate into the family, and that's just one example. On the other hand, Brian has never expressed an interest in baseball. And now all of a sudden he's a die-hard Baltimore Orioles fan. I don't know where this came from. This is why the relationship I think is going to work. It's a little give and take. Last week I called Brian up to ask if he was getting nervous for the big day. I told him I was getting nervous about making a speech. Brian told me, no, Kevin, I know I made the right choice. This is the best decision of my life. I'm not nervous at all. Brian, I'm thrilled you found someone to share your life with. I wish you two the best life has to offer in years of happiness in your new life together. Tara, I want to personally welcome you to our family. You're doing great. I love you both and couldn't be happy for the two of you. It says right here, raise your glass.